I graduated from Michigan originally, did the Ross undergrad program there. And so my kind of entry point to entrepreneurship was in that undergrad context. We actually had this week-long experience where we kind of just took the week off of classes, were grouped into teams, and given the directive to create a startup to help solve one of the world's global issues. I think they used like the 17 UN like global focus points and kind of went from there. So that was my first view into, entrepreneurship can be starting with a problem and then working to find a solution from there. Because my perspective had always been, entrepreneurship is about these excellent technologists who are building stuff within a garage and then kind of going from there.
What did you think you wanted to be when you were a kid? So it sounded like entrepreneurship was first kind of introduced to you in college. So there was plenty of formative development before you were exposed to what's a pretty unique pathway. Did you have goals?
I was figuring it out a little bit. So part of why I was interested in Michigan specifically in the first place was just they had a number of awesome programs for a variety of different fields. So I wanted to kind of go and explore and then figure it out. I originally wanted to go into broadcasting and specifically sports broadcasting. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and weirdly, since Mizzou is a great journalism school, that kind of trickled down a bit to the high school level where there were just decent like broadcast and journalism programs within high schools in Kansas City, St. Louis, where have you. So my public high school in Kansas City was actually competing with like LA private film schools for a lot of these like national awards and programs types of things. So I really enjoyed that. But this was like the mid-teens when broadcasting was starting to maybe not look like the most attractive long-term space. And particularly when you think about like sports broadcasting and whatnot, I didn't have like the expertise of a former player or something like that. So I was looking at Northwestern's program, and it's really incredible. And they get people involved in a lot of spaces, but they'd have like these 6-month processes where you go out to a smaller regional site, maybe like a small town in North Dakota or something, and kind of get like on the ground experience. And I started to just kind of envision like what my life was going to look like. And I went, man, that's a lot of maybe not fun, like grungy work before I can kind of get to do the stuff that I really want to do. So that's when I started to reevaluate a little bit. I thought that my skill set was kind of more around communication, and then I liked the strategic analytical side of things, and so that's where I gravitated towards business. Didn't know what I was going to do with that, and so that's kind of how I landed on entrepreneurship, because that was just what I found the most interesting as I kind of started gravitating, and just where naturally opportunities started popping up for me, where I feel like that's kind of a good indicator too of, I poked around with some consulting opportunities, some marketing stuff, and just entrepreneurial opportunities seemed to be where I was getting the most traction. So I kind of went, okay, cool, I should probably follow this thread.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship has an element of like ownership and responsibility that's more than a job, quote, quote. A job, quote, quote, it's like, here's what I need you to do. But entrepreneurship's like, here's what I kind of want to happen, and you get to be a little bit creative.